My name is Tyler Pedersen, and I'm excited to get baptized. The reason that I am getting baptized now is because I haven't yet, and it's something that I should do. And I realize it's something I should do first and foremost because it's a command. Jesus commands it. And secondly, growing up, I've realized that Christians get baptized, and that as a Christian, maybe I should get baptized because Christians are doing it. I became a Christian when I was 10 years old, and I don't remember the exact circumstances, but I do remember a few facets of my conversion. I was raised in a Christian household. My parents brought me to church every Sunday, and I did Sunday school growing up, and we read the Bible as a family. I remember that I became extremely aware of the fact that I was a sinner and that I was not right before God. Before I was 10, I was very familiar with all of that, but it wasn't until the age of 10 that I knew that it was true that I was a sinner and that I needed to be forgiven of my sins. And then I remember telling my mom, so she told me it was pretty simple, that I just had to believe that Jesus died on the cross for my sins and that he rose from the dead to justify me before God, and that anyone who believes that, their sins can be forgiven and they can be saved. So I said, okay, I want to do that. So me and my mom prayed, and from that moment on, I've been a Christian. I think that's when I gave my life to Jesus. And then growing up, I came into contact with a lot of people who didn't share those beliefs. I started developing friendships in high school and college with people who were not at all believers. And so I think God really worked in me and has been a desire to share with people the good news, and he has also given me a concern for the souls of a lot of my friends growing up. One of the things that I've struggled with a lot, that God has helped me with through the years, is worry and anxiety. In college, I had a lot of worry when it came to schoolwork and getting assignments done. And then from there, it got down to, well, what am I going to do after college? What am I going to do for a living? Bridging that gap between head knowledge and what should impact the way I live and how I think about things has been difficult. But I do think that God has put people in my life to help me deal with that. So my parents definitely have helped me over the years with that. And then in college, I had friends who would just tell me you need to relax. God's got this, it's under control. Music has played a huge role in my Christian life. I have been playing in this church since I was 14, I think. When I play Christian music, I feel like it's an act of worship, but I also feel like playing music that isn't necessarily Christian is also an act of worship for me, because I feel like it's something that I'm supposed to do. When I'm playing drums, I don't really think about anything. I overthink pretty much everything, and drumming is one of the only things that when I do it, I don't think about anything. I don't worry about anything when I'm drumming. So after I graduated from University of Miami, I wasn't sure what I was to do next. I hadn't really looked for any jobs or any career prospects, and so the thing that I felt was natural was to try to do music. So I figured, let's move to Nashville. People right out of college don't really know what they're doing necessarily, so I should do it now. And also a number of circumstances came together which made me think that it was something I was supposed to do. In Nashville was where I felt that anxiety and uncertainty most acutely, I think because of the nature of living a life of a musician. Gigs started coming slowly, and then there were a lot in a pretty condensed time period, and then there were no gigs for a while. And then it was like, when's the next gig? And then there would come a gig, and then it would be silent for another period of time. So a lot of that kind of coalesced and made me at times really anxious. I ended up living with an extremely strong and loving Christian who became also one of my best friends when I was there. So that really helped me to deal with the uncertainty of when the next gig was going to be, when the next paying gig was going to be, if I was going to be able to play music I liked. And so during that rough patch of time, I came even more to realize that God is in control and that He has a plan. Growing up, I didn't really have a sense of why it was important to get baptized. When I went to college, I started feeling that more when I became really close friends with a worship leader at a church in Miami, and I started playing in the band there. And he was telling me, yeah, you should get baptized. Everyone who's a Christian gets baptized. It's a proclamation of faith. It's a public stance that you're taking for Jesus. And that made sense too, but I still didn't do it for some reason. And I think it just got to the point where I was like, what am I doing waiting? It's commanded. It's good to obey when Jesus commands. I recognize that there's massive symbolic weight to it. Being submerged in the water in the same way that Christ died and was buried, and then being raised as a sign of His being raised. So I realized that it's extremely important, and I've just been wanting to do it for a while, but haven't ever said, okay, I'm going to do it. But now I am.